Hey y'all, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a tutorial on this look here. I decided to go through my collection, pull out some products that haven't had love in a while. So this is a full face of using nothing new. I'm not quite sure who started this. I know Allie Glines has been doing it a lot recently. I'll go ahead and link her channel down below. She does great reviews and tutorials. Whenever I think of this though, I really think of that girl Shay. I saw on Twitter that she recently announced she's going to be doing her, whoa, my voice just went weird, Throwback Thursday videos again, which I absolutely love those. She'd go through and pull out a palette that she hadn't used in a while. So I was inspired by both of those ladies. I'm pretty sure I've actually done one of these videos in the past as well. It was like a throwback makeup tutorial. But yesterday I was going through my palette drawer just because I feel like there has been an endless supply of palettes being released lately. Obviously, makeup is being released every other day, but it just seems like it's been the month of foundations and eyeshadow palettes. Eyeshadows lately tend to kind of be the same, so I decided to go through and pull out a lot of my singles. I have two of these massive palettes from Give Me Glow. These are the XXL Pro Custom Palettes, and in one I have a ton of like basic neutrals, and then in the other I have a lot of fun colors. But I was realizing whenever looking at some of these other palettes, I'm like, I have a majority of those colors, so there's no need to buy them. I'm not saying I'm never going to purchase a new palette again, just because with this job, obviously that's part of it, reviewing new products. But I was really inspired to go through and kind of just create my own custom fall palette. I was inspired by kind of like the sage, warm pumpkin tones. I really love this color palette so much. So I hope you guys like this look. If you haven't already gotten ready today, we can sit down and get ready together, or if you're on your lunch break, hopefully not watching this during school hours unless you have like an empty period. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. As usual, I'm going to go ahead and kick things off with the eyes, starting off with the Benefit Highbrow Pencil. I like to go in and highlight these outer corners right here where I have a ton of just weird discoloration and darkness. I feel like if I use this as a base before I even go in with concealer or anything, it just adds a lot more brightness. So yesterday I went through some of my larger palettes for all my single pan shadows. The amount of palettes that have been released lately is insane to me. Don't get me wrong, I love eyeshadow palettes, but it's gotten to the point where it's just overwhelming even for me, to where my excitement has just kind of been diminished. When so much comes out at once, I'm like, I don't even know what to be excited about because there's a million different things. Now, when it comes to like foundations, that I'm like, keep pumping those out, because if it's a new formula, if it's something dewier and glowier, I can stay on board with that. But with eyeshadows, I already have so many as is that I feel like so many of my single pans have been neglected. And I've really been craving just a like forest green, burnt pumpkin, rich orange type of fall palette. So I went through my ColourPop and MAKEUPGEEK shadows and just threw some colors in here. I was sure to include a couple of brow shades or brow bone shades. So I went in with ColourPop Full Zip as well as ColourPop Locked and Loaded. I hope all these shades are still available because this was when they originally launched the single pan shadows. I went ham for these. So just taking a stiff shader brush, I'm going to go ahead and highlight my brow bone. Let's go ahead and start with something a little bit maybe like muddier. So I'm thinking MAKEUPGEEK Tiki Hut. Excited to use this color. I haven't used it in forever. In fact, I haven't really used many of my MAKEUPGEEK singles in forever, and I don't know why, because I know the formula. I know they're really good. Now, if any of the shades that I use today, you don't have the exact same singles, just find something similar. That's kind of what I did. I was looking at different palettes and looking at different shades and kind of just trying to figure out my own perfect fall palette, and just went with singles that I have. So don't feel like you have to have these exact same shades, just look for something similar in tone. Now, I just want some pumpkin orange going on right on the lower section of my hidden crease. So I'm just taking the SL Miss Glam W25, more of like a condensed, precise crease brush, and going in with some of ColourPop Early Bird. All right, so I'm taking this color from the outer corner all the way into the inner corner of the crease, and I'm just gonna pull this up lightly as well, because when you have hooded lids, if you concentrate it right in the crease, you're just not gonna see the color. The second you open your eyes, it just disappears. That's why I always lift mine up a little bit. Now, if you have a defined crease, obviously you can leave it right in the crease because you'll be able to see it because you're lucky and blessed with defined creases. This is one of my all-time favorite, like dirty, muddy, almost baby poop type of greens. This is Dirty Martini from Makeup Geek, and it is absolutely beautiful. I think this is what we're going to use because I already know that I love this shade. This is the Sigma E47, just another really small crease brush. Perfect if you have hooded lids. So right under that orange, I'm just going to do a small, I tapped off a little bit too much, bit of Dirty Martini. Isn't this so beautiful? If you're looking for a beautiful shade for a smoky eye, but you don't want to stick with like basic blacks and grays, you want some sort of pop of color, this is the perfect one. You can keep it really rich and deep, or you can go in and really sheer it out, but it is hands down one of my favorite green shades ever. Now we can finally go to the actual lid color. These shades go on beautifully on their own. For instance, this one here is Jester. This is one of the foiled shadows. You don't really need a base, but I do like to go in with a base just to really punch up the color some more. So I'm going in with one of the Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Sticks. I forgot to bring a paper towel, so now I got a dirty finger. Of Laura Mercier Khaki. This is just a really nice khaki green, and I'm just going to smudge that all over my lid. So after seeing Jester, I think I want to go in with something a little bit darker. I'm going to tap Venom right on top of that khaki pencil. I'm not going to go all the way, I mean almost to the outer corner, but I do want to leave this tiny bit matte. So really concentrating it more on the inner corner and right on the center of my lid. And then taking some of Makeup Geek Corrupt, I'm just going in with a liner brush and using this to create that shadow wing. If you're someone like myself who just really sucks at liquid liner, do it with a shadow and a stiff brush. It's so much easier. If you're wanting to make it even more dramatic, you could always use this kind of as your template to go in with liquid liner on top of. So I know earlier I said Jester was a little bit too light, but I think this will be perfect just to add some brightness in the corners. So I'm just going to tap this right on top of Venom. It's still green, but it just has a little bit of brightness and added shimmer to it. I think that's what I was looking for. Okay, now moving on to my primer. I want something to add a little bit of luminosity to my skin. So I'm going in with the BECCA Backlight Primer. I love this stuff. I've been obsessed with my VDL primer. I've been using that e.l.f. Poreless Putty a ton. This has kind of been neglected for a little bit, which is sad because it's such a great primer. Even if you have oily skin, I still think you'd really enjoy this primer if you're looking for something just to add a little bit more of a dewy quality to your skin without feeling greasy or heavy. So lately I have been kind of doing a little bit of underpainting, not quite anything like as dramatic or intense as like the Scott Barnes underpainting, but just a little bit of subtle underpainting just to create some shadows on my skin. Go ahead and start off with my under eyes first. So for that, I'm just gonna go in with the BECCA Under Eye Brightening Corrector. If you've never used this before and you have severe darkness on your under eyes, would highly recommend this. It is very creamy though. It's something that you do have to set. It's hydrating, but it will settle into any fine lines that you have going on your face, but you really only need a little bit because it spreads out pretty easily. So just like I did earlier with the Benefit Highbrow, I have that dark shadow right here. So I really like to layer it on right on that inner corner, and then I will just start to drag a bit out and just lightly pull down whatever's left, just because a little bit does go a long way. These are the same concealers that I have been using for forever and a day now, just the Too Faced Born This Way concealers. I'm just going to take a dot of almond on each side, some on the center of my forehead, down my nose, and my chin. Now this is pretty light on my under eye, so I like to just mix it with a tiny dot of golden beige. Those two colors work perfectly for me. And then just taking the same concealer brush just on the other side, I begin to tap it out some, and then I let it sit for a minute before fully blending, just to get some additional coverage out of the product. I've got a lot of redness on my chin right now for whatever reason, not quite sure why. And then I can begin blending this concealer out. Now just taking the Fenty Beauty Matchstick in Cocoa. Oh no, I think I grabbed the wrong shade. This one is a lot more orange than I remembered, but you know what? I don't feel like grabbing the other, so I'm just gonna use it. I warmed some up on the back of my hand, and then just taking the Huda Beauty Bake and Blend brush, I'm going to, yeah, this is way too orange. Okay, you know what? Oh, I did bring this. This is the Stila Shape and Shade Custom Contour Duo in Light. I'm going to take a little bit of this right on top of it. I really wanted to use the Huda Beauty Tantour, but I feel like I use that product so much that I wanted to go in with something a little bit different. I know, we're looking crazy right now. I promise it comes together. Don't you worry. I'm almost use this as like a base tan color underneath. And then I'm just going to take a tiny bit of this right down my nose. If you suck at contouring your nose, kind of like me, this is much easier to do with underpainting instead of going on top with like your powders. I've been doing this lately and I really like the look of it. For foundation, I decided to go in with the Laura Mercier Flawless Lumiere Radiance Perfecting Foundation. I love this one. So I'm going to take a pump of Bisque as well as a pump of Golden. So then just taking a little bit of this, let's just do a couple dots here. I'm just going to use the other end of the Huda Beauty brush and lightly blend this foundation out. So going right on top of that cream contouring that we did, just to blend everything in. Moving on to bronzer, I'm just going to take the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzer in Radiant Bronze Light. And then this Benefit Hoola bronzer brush. I'm pretty sure they still make this. I freaking love this just for all over bronzer. I am going to go pretty heavy with this. I really like to use this bronzer almost as like a blush and bronzer in one, just because the subtle glow that it gives you is so pretty. I just love the look of a good glowy healthy cheek. You guys are curious of my earrings. These are they called Audrey? I'm not quite sure. I will have them linked down below. They're from Miranda Fry, as is pretty much all the jewelry that I always wear. I do have a coupon code as well that I will link down below. And then for my highlight, I'm going to go in with one of the Huda Beauty 3D highlighter palettes. This one is in Pink Sands edition. I'm just going to take a little bit of this bottom shade right here. Just a really nice soft kind of white gold. I'm just barely going to dust some of that right on top of this bronzer. So just like I did with my lid, I'm going to take more of that Laura Mercier Caviar Eye Stick. Got to put my caps away, otherwise I lose them, in Khaki. And I think I'm going to, yeah, you know what? Let's do waterline and lower lash line. I love these cream sticks just because they stay on your eyes all day long. Sometimes when I go through my collection and swatch these on my hands, if I don't remove them right away, I'm left with stains on. Like, they really last on your eyes all day long. So if you have really long work hours, those would be perfect products for you. I'm going to be taking ColourPop's Team Captain, just picking up a little bit of this on the brush and just smudging this right on top of Khaki, just for a really nice smoky green. Yeah. I am going to grab that liner brush again and then MAKEUPGEEK Corrupt just to deepen up our little baby wing. For my lips, we are going old school, a true classic. You can never go wrong with MAC Stripdown. And then for my lipstick, I'm thinking, I was looking at Twig, but I think I want something a little bit more of like a true brown tone, like nude brown. So I think I'm gonna go in with Jubilee, which that was one of the very, was it? No, maybe it wasn't. I was gonna say Jubilee was my very first MAC lipstick. Actually, it may have been Jubilee. That was so long ago, I can't even remember. This is a luster, so it's perfect because I don't have to go in and top it off with a gloss. Man, this is such a pretty combo. I don't know why I haven't worn this lip in such a long time. Well, I do. Just like with eyeshadows, there's always new liquid lipsticks, regular lipsticks coming out that things get pushed to the back. And it makes me sad because this is such like a classic, good nude fall every day / all year long color. It's a good one. So if you've been looking for a good MAC lip combo, this is it. There you have it, my full face of using nothing new. I really hope this video inspires you to go through your collection, whether it's your old palettes or your old singles, and bust those puppies out. Create your own color scheme. If you guys are looking for some inspo, here is one more glance of mine. Like I said, I was just really inspired by like fall, sage leaves, pumpkins. I'm really happy with how the look turned out. I hope you guys like it. If you do, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate it. Let me know if you guys would like to see more of these full face of nothing new type of looks, or oh my God, I swore I just silenced it. My bad, y'all. So rude. Anyways, I hope you guys are all having a great day. If you haven't already, I would love if you subscribed. If you got some more time, you can always check out some of my previous videos. I'll be sure to link some of my latest ones here. That is all that I have for you today. Thanks so much for hanging out, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.